Hello, lads. Regarding my revelation, as revealed in my latest, sorry for the repetition there, revelation revealed. Try to do better than that usually. Sorry for the revelation that was unfurled in my latest Substack piece concerning the perhaps real identity of what lurks in the intelligence services and in the military-industrial complex after Operation Paperclip. I anticipate getting a lot of grief from certain people who maybe will say who will assail me for saying no, you're holding it against the wrong people. It's the usual suspects. And you know who I mean when I say the usual suspects. I don't think I have to, I'm not going to say it by name. I'm not going to say the word by name, but you know what I mean, and it rhymes with news. It rhymes with news, it rhymes with blues, it rhymes with clues, it rhymes with snooze, okay? You're going to say to me, Andy, you sell out. You're so ignorant. You're being just like all those ignoramuses out there who don't understand that World War II was that the bad guys actually won World War II, etc. and so on. And now you want to blame the ones that everybody hated on unnecessarily and unreasonably. You know, the ones whose side we should have taken in World War II. Now you're saying that they're to blame for what's happening now in the military-industrial complex with the takeover of the defense industry and the intelligence services following Operation Paperclip. Well, if you do have that perspective or that point of view, I invite you to think more broadly, okay? And I'm going to be writing about this soon, but and in fact I'm a little bit confused or a little bit mystified by the fact that I haven't really gotten that much. I haven't heard this kind of feedback yet from some of you. I thought that I would by now. But maybe it's because the article is so theoretical and and it's something you kind of have to follow through to the end, and you know, in the video that I recorded on this whole subject, you know, over a year ago, where I was talking about the Jason Giorgiani interview, which is no longer posted anywhere. I didn't really, I wasn't explicitly clear about all of this the way that I am in the article. But even in the article, I don't know. I don't know if, do people read closely? Or, I don't know, or people are just okay with it. Like, are people just people who are, you know, who have that position, who have that ideology, are they okay with the idea, the notion that you've got National Socialists in power pulling the strings in such a way to create maximum decadence and to destroy the society that you know that has long nourished Western man in order that their own ideology might reign supreme. But again, think of it this way, okay? During the war, before America's involvement in the war, and I think before the war even technically, no, it did. The war technically started. The European War technically started in '39, but there was a period of time which not everybody knows about, and not all scholars of history. I mean, only scholars of history really even have any idea what once happened, once took place, and that is the time of the Nazi-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact. And what this was a time in which the ideological enemies of one another, Russian Bolshevism and National Socialism in Germany, decided to say, "Hey, let's be allies. Let's team up." And this confused a lot of people, and a lot of leftists, a lot of sworn communists in the West. A lot of them broke away because they couldn't believe that their great hero Stalin had done this, had signed a non-aggression pact with the fascists, with Hitler, with the Nazis, their sworn enemies supposedly. But that said, most leftists, most communists, dyed-in-the-wool communists, stayed on board and were okay with it, and they were fine with the Soviets and the Nazis dividing up Poland, and the Soviets taking the eastern side and the Germans taking the western side. And in this period, the propaganda on the left switched abruptly from being very anti-fascist, anti-Nazi, to being anti-war or against anti-interventionist. And for a time, for the span of, I think it was about a year and a half, it was about a year and a half. It all ended with Operation Barbarossa, when the Germans decided to break with the pact and invaded Russia. And by all accounts, it took Russia really very much off guard. It took Stalin off guard. It took everybody off guard when that happened. They didn't see that coming. Might that have been a tactical error on the part of Hitler? Maybe. But that's a different question entirely. So my point is, for that period of time, you had people who were ideological enemies, sworn ideological enemies, even if it could be said that they both practiced totalitarianism. If you believed, I know people don't like the horseshoe theory, but there's some elements of it that I think are valid. Go far enough to the left or go far enough to the right, it's the same thing. At least as far as the totalitarian, the undeniably totalitarian nature of these regimes in power. So you had these two nations, who, even though they were enemies, being allied with one another. Okay, so I know this is all kind of heady. This is a little bit heady stuff, but switch it back to the present day, and the allegations that I made in my Substack article concerning how perhaps the impetus for all of the decadence and all the degeneration of everything that's good and healthy and normal and right is perhaps happening because a hostile ideology is at the heart of our defense structure, is at the heart of power, even if their real identity is being kept a secret. Look, if German National Socialism and Russian Bolshevism could be okay with tag teaming for tactical reasons, for a lengthy portion of time that would have gone on for longer had Operation Barbarossa never happened. If that could happen, and it did happen, that's a part of recorded history, who's to say that if we've got National Socialists deep within the heart of our own nation, deep within the heart of the stronghold of the West, that is the United States military industrial complex slash intelligence apparatus. Who say they aren't making a tactical alliance with the very people that you would think that they would hate, right? The kind of people who are into making our culture degenerate for their own reasons. Okay, so is the notion of Nazis and Jews working together is for reasons that are tactically that both see as tactically advisable for now. Is that so implausible given that it's happened before? That's the question that I put before you. In other words, the great fall of the West that began with the demon that was unleashed with the end of the Cold War, as I've talked about umpteen times here, when suddenly you had this new phenomenon known as political correctness or wokeness or social justice warrior mentality, which cast aspersions on anything that there was anything at all good about everything that's decent about the West, right? About the family, about masculinity, about femininity, about normal sexual relations. I could go on, but it basically attacked the heart of the family. It attacked chastity. It went after the jugular of what, and it basically, its end game, its goal is the demoralization and finally the destruction of Western man. Okay, which some may say is the white man. I don't know. I would rather say just say Western man, because I think it's possible for the West to be other than white. I think there are instances of that. I'm not a full blown racialist. I'm a moderate racialist. Anyhow, this all out attack that's being allowed to happen. It's less the fact that there are people who believe these kinds of things, who are promoting these kinds of things, like Drag Queen Story Hour and mutilating children's bodies to make them the other gender, and all other kinds of things that would just be thought of as totally out there, crazy, insane, ridiculous, evil, wicked, demonic. These kinds of things could be happening for different reasons, and different powerful factions may want to see this happen. One faction may want it to happen so that they can, because they think it will promote their own rise, and another faction might be pushing these kinds of things because they, again, it's like the art of war, right? The art of war. I shouldn't even talk about the art of war. Like, I've read the art of war, but I'm pretty sure there's got to be a passage in the art of war. I'm pretty sure there is. Somebody can probably back me up here who's more literate than I am. There's got to be a passage in there about demoralizing the enemy. There's got to be a passage in there about making the enemy feel helpless, making the enemy feel like there's no recourse, making the enemy feel like he should just give up and stop trying to be good and virtuous, and should just that him and his kind should just die off for the betterment of everybody. That's definitely out there. That's definitely in the air right now. That's what the woke stuff is all about, right? So why wouldn't an ideology like National Socialism, if we've got people who are National Socialists within positions of power, why would they not want to promote it? even if it seems to go against what they believe, given that promoting it will mean the end of America and the end of the political system that is America, and perhaps the reignation eventually, not too long from now, perhaps the reigniting of the spirit of National Socialism. 1933 all over again. Who's to say? It seems plausible to me, even though there is a convoluted, I will agree there's a certain convolution to it. So I'm going to write about this, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there, verbally. And I thank everybody for watching. And I welcome your ideas if you want to leave them below. Talk to y'all soon.